Do you see your career eventually taking you back to the PBA and playing there?
You appreciate winning so much more when you lose for a long time.
You won the championship with Shiga, but you recently decided to depart the team after your contract expired. You became a free agent. Why did you leave Shiga, and how did you end up with your new team? Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special cover special edition for All Star Magazine. I am joined by someone who needs no introduction, someone who, shall we say, is quite phenomenal. Kiefer Ravena, everybody. Kiefer, man, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. How are you, man?
It's a pleasure being here. Nice to see you. Like what you said, it's been a while since we last talked, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this episode.
It's been a while, bro. I feel like the last time I saw you regularly was your last season with Ateneo, which, gosh, how long ago was that? That was
at least 10 years ago. 10 years
10.
ago. Yeah.
The last time I covered a game of yours, as media at least, was when... Sorry to bring it up. The Macbello game winner.
Shot. Oh, yes.
Does that still give you nightmares sometimes?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Kasi, syempre, that was my last UAAP game, and the UAAP has been a big part of who I am as a basketball player. And sometimes, Mac still visits me in my dreams. Sinasabi ko sa kanya, it's nice to see you there, but, you shouldn't have ended my career that way.
Bro, I remember after the Bello game winner, I immediately looked at you and Von because I knew it was your last season, diba? And you just like put up your jersey and you looked up the sky and you're like, parang yung reaction was like, well, fuck. I mean, what else am I gonna do, right?
Yeah, that's it. Parang it's like, I guess this shit is over now. So at that point, it was sinking in. And it sank in real quick.
Right.
There's no more tomorrow. There's no more chance of playing for Ateneo. But yeah, I mean... It is what it is.
It is what it is. And look at you now, bling bling in the ears, bling bling on your neck.
Yes.
No, but even if that was the end of your college career, that was the beginning of what would be so far a very successful pro career, in my opinion. You're doing so well. Recently,
thank you very much.
You just won your first B League championship.
Oh yes,
Division 2 with Shiga.
Division 2, yes, with the Shiga Lakes. It's my team for the past 3 years, and I've never realized how hard it is when it comes to winning.
Right.
When it comes to winning a championship, the sacrifices, the things that the team, not only personally, that you go through when winning a championship. That's why you admire those champion teams so much. Yes. And at the same time, I had the first-hand experience kung ano talaga yung pagdadaanan nyo, and it's some real shit.
Real shit.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not something that just for everybody.
It's not a walk in the park.
Yeah, it's definitely not a walk in the park. Competition-wise, mentally, physically, emotionally, it's always been a challenge every day. Different obstacles left and right. So, ano naman siya. It's a growing experience, to be honest, more than anything else, being able to be part of a champion team.
It's ironic too because you won consecutive championships in high school, right? That's when you became the phenom. And then you enter Ateneo. Your first 2 seasons is championship.
Yes,
so at that point, everything is,
yes.
confetti and, well, I don't think you were drinking. Maybe you were drinking champagne.
Maybe,
I'm not sure.
Maybe not.
Maybe San Miglite, or like something like that. Or Hennessy.
Yes.
Hennessy. I don't know. But now, you're a champion again. But there was such a huge gap in between, right? You were talking to me before we started airing that it had been a while since you won a championship, which, for someone as competitive as you are, must have felt like torture.
Oh, yes.
What did that period teach you about never taking winning for granted again?
Like you said, like more than a decade since I last won an actual championship when it comes to my pro career.
Yes.
Setting aside all the national team, the SEA Games, the other victories that I've had, you appreciate winning so much more when you lose for a long time. Especially for me, personally, you guys know me as one of the most competitive people out there when it comes to basketball, and just like anybody else, I hate losing.
Right.
I hate losing, and losing for 12 years, it's rough, and with losing it hindi lang yung talo yung nararamdaman mo eh. Marami pang bagay, what the people are saying. It's like, does he still know how to
Yes,
win? Is he
yes.
still a good player? Does he do this? Does he do that? Can he still be at par with who he was in Ateneo? Yung mga ganong bagay. And it takes a toll, obviously. It takes a toll on your mental state because physically, you're just doing everything that you can to be the best player you can
Right.
be. And there are just some things that are out of your control. And finally getting over the hump and going through that, B2 championship, parang all throughout the playoffs, my mindset was just like, just give yourself a chance to win, and then see where it goes. I was trying to take it a game at a time. And eventually, when we were at the finals, and I was just like, damn, you made it this far, and why not try to fucking win it all,
Exactly.
So, when umabot na kami dun sa finals, parang sobrang surreal pa nga nung feeling na parang ganito pala yung feeling niya ulit.
Right, right.
Parang, it's a different thing na parang I've missed it so much
Right.
that it was new. Everything was new from coming into the game, seeing my teammates, seeing the crowd, starting as soon as the jump ball starts. Parang iba yung feeling, para siyang bago talaga for me, But, we were lucky enough to pull out and come out as the champions.
I'm curious about two things. One, is there a difference between the desire to win and the agony of losing for you? Is there an emotion that feels stronger? And two, are you one of those guys that win or lose after the game, you can't really sleep right away at night when you go to bed?
Yeah. I mean, siguro sa parang to answer the first question, if winning and losing is the same feeling for you, parang there's something wrong.
Yes.
I feel like I feel like there should be something wrong if winning and losing is the same. If you really feel pain when losing hits you, parang it's something good. And the latter naman, parang ako yung taong ganun. Whether actually play good or play bad,
You're
losing or
reliving it.
winning, yeah. Parang ganun ako. Especially in Japan kasi we play back-to-backs. We only have a few hours to prepare.
Yes.
Let's say we play at 2 p.m. We finish the game at 4. Now we rest, have dinner. We play again at 2 p.m. So, less than 24 hours to actually prepare yourself physically and mentally more than anything else, diba? So at night, I try to sit down, ponder upon the things, whether I play well or I don't. Parang yun yung time ko to reflect on what I should do the following day.
So you're not going to the club?
Oh, no, definitely not. Oh, definitely not. I'm not turning up on a Saturday night because we do have a game on Sunday.
That's true.
And, even though we have like 60 games, you'll be surprised how the season flies by so fast.
Right.
Because, we practice Friday, you play Saturday, Sunday, you take the day off on a Monday, you travel on a Tuesday and practice, play on a Wednesday, take the day off on a Thursday, practice again on a Friday, and then play again on a Saturday, Sunday.
Wow.
So, I mean, once the week starts, it was like, okay, there's another week gone, another week gone, another week gone. And then next thing you know, you're halfway through the season. It's All-Star break already. So those days count when you want to rest. You want to find yourself mentally and physically, and try to get your mind out of the game, even for a few hours. So that really matters for us. And spending it in the club won't be wise.
Something I want to ask, because Kobe Bryant was your favorite player growing up, right? I never got to ask you this. It's almost 5 years now that tragically Kobe passed away, and I still remember the tears that fell from my eyes.
For a lot of people. For a lot of people.
The heartbreak.
Yes.
Whether you were a diehard Kobe fan or a casual basketball fan, you, one way or another, there's something inside that felt like it got crushed, right?
Yeah.
But for someone like you modeled your game after Kobe. I know that
For sure,
to some
for
degree.
sure.
I mean, how did you how do you take that? How did you react to it when you first heard about it? And
wait,
till now?
let me show you something. Let me show you something. Like what you said, like when it comes to Kobe, there's just this special bond between the two of us. So it's this,
Oh, wow.
it's this photo that I've always had, and I've
Wow.
always kept it in my files.
This was you with Kobe when you were
This
a
was
kid.
me during
And he
1997.
signed it?
Yeah, this was
When did he sign
1997.
it?
He signed this when he came in around early 2010s, something
Right.
like that.
Let's show this to the camera.
Yeah.
Can we show this to the camera? This picture.
Yeah.
Man, look at this right there.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that's
that is priceless right there.
That's baby Keef and
Kobe
baby Mamba.
Bean. Man,
So yeah, I mean, when just to answer your question, when
Yeah.
it comes to that, parang I would say I had a special bond to him just because I got to talk to him personally, even just for a few moments, diba? Parang every time he was here during his tours,
correct.
I would be part of it, whether playing, talking to him a little bit, and then I showed him the picture. Jokingly, I told him, "Hey, could we recreate the photo?" He was like, "Nah." Sige. So, and then he signed it. Parang, syempre, sa akin, ano yun, meron na akong personal touch to it na nakausap ko siya and ask him a few questions, and not a lot of people were able to do that.
When you found out he passed away, did you not want to believe it at first?
Of course, I think that it was for the vast majority of us basketball fans who didn't want to believe that,
Were you still up late when it was?
I was actually sleeping.
You
I
were
was sleeping, and then my brother called me, 30. Obviously, he was the one out late.
Right.
He was the one up late. And sabi na sa akin, check your Twitter or check your Instagram. Something happened to Kobe. It's like, who, Kobe? It's like, akala ko, I mean, to be honest, like obviously waking up, I thought it was Kobe Paras who got hurt or something like that in a game, or check your Twitter. And I was like, oh, wait. Double check, triple check, quadruple check. I was like, damn. And then I was just like, cried a little bit. And then it felt like losing a loved one, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah,
right?
Just having that personal thing with Kobe. And up until now, I try to live by his examples of how work should be done.
The dedication, the obsessiveness,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I mean, it's something. So let's take it to the B-League careers of yours that's blossoming. You won the championship with Shiga, but you recently decided to depart the team after your contract expired. You became a free agent, and officially, you are now at Yokohama.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Take us through that journey. Why did you leave Shiga, and how did you end up with your new team?
Well, I guess siguro parang after winning the championship, I was honestly expecting to come back and return to Shiga, because honestly, it doesn't really make sense if you try to revamp a whole champion team who goes to B1, and the connection, the system, the chemistry, the camaraderie, the brotherhood, it's all there, and that's how you make a strong team.
Not to mention you've lived there for a while.
Yes, and you might not have the most talented ones, but if you have a culture developed, and I felt like we were able to do that. But I mean, no hard feelings, kasi we're all professionals here. The business is the business, and I just felt like I had to make a move personally, and with my agent talking to me about growing and looking into a different option. Parang I opened my eyes also to the fact na I could actually leave Shiga, And then when that happened, when Shiga was trying to steer in a different direction, and I had to look out for myself, and luckily my agent, Daniel Moldovan, was able to help me to be with Yokohama. And I'm really looking forward to the partnership with Yuki.
Yes, sir.
A new coach, head coach of the Finland national team.
Wow.
So again, for me as a student of the game, I love that. I love the challenge. I love the opportunity to go to practice day in and day out and learn from the best of the best.
So just to confirm, was it Shiga's decision to go another way by not bringing you back, or was it your decision to look what else is
I guess
out there?
it was a mutual thing.
Okay.
With Shiga not being, probably having different plans.
Yes.
And also for me, I was open to returning, but things didn't fall into place, and I had to do the move.
Were you also offered other opportunities by other B-League teams, or maybe even the KBL when you were technically a free agent?
Well, I've had offers, I have interest, I would say.
Right.
Interest.
So nothing concrete.
Yeah, nothing concrete, nothing on paper. And I think the plan was to really stay in Japan.
Yes.
But when it comes to other interests, I'm always open to it. It depends on the situation. So when that came in, naman, Yokohama, close to Tokyo, I felt like I wanted to try it out, living close to the big city. So yeah.
So a lot of people might be a little confused on the difference of B2 and B1 in the B League. You've been in the B League for a while, so maybe you want to explain it.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's B1 and B2, so there's 24 teams right now in B1, and I think 14, 15 in B2. So whoever plays the championship game from B2 gets to go to B1 the following year, so they get promoted.
Right.
And a couple years ago, we were the last two from B1, and then we got demoted. Yeah, we got relegated to B2. That's why we were in that position. So that's just how it works with being with two divisions. There's still actually a B3, but it's more of a separate entity. But whoever wins the championship also in B3 has a chance to go to B2, and then they work their way up.
Right.
So that's how it works in Japan. And from B2, you go to B3 if you're the last two teams. And I mean, it keeps everybody on their toes and competitive. So I guess that's one way on how the B League was able to produce this type of world-class competition by having those rules na talagang if you mess it up, you have one bad season, unfortunately for you, you have to, go down a division.
So you don't have farm teams there in the
No
farm
no.
teams.
No, you can't. Definitely you can't. And it's really tough to have farm teams over there if you have all in all, I would say more than 50 teams.
Correct.
So it's really hard.
The B League is quickly shooting up the list in terms of best basketball leagues in the world. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Whether that's on-court action, that's in-arena performances,
Yes.
excitement, social media, global connections.
Yeah.
You've lived in the B League environment for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Like you said. What is it that the B League is doing so well that, in your opinion, is making them such a successful league despite the early stages of its career?
I feel like it's the vision more than anything else. It's what they see at the end of the tunnel. It's what they see how Japanese basketball is 20 years down the road. And that's the biggest part. If you have the vision, plus in Japan, first world country, they have the resources to do it. It's a perfect combination. And the leaders are able to align their thoughts, align their interests towards that vision. Obviously, it's not going to go smooth. There was also a feud maybe a decade ago or even less na FIBA almost went to Japan and if you don't fix these two leagues that you have, you won't be able to participate in FIBA competitions. They were able to do that, fix everything, iron things out, and here's the B League now growing and growing exponentially when it comes to organizations, like what you said, performances with the teams, players that come into play, national team players from all over the world, from Brazil, from Finland, from the US,
Philippines.
Australia, Philippines, everywhere. So when you summarize it, they must be doing something right? So yun naman yung nakikita namin doon, and when it comes to competition, it's world class. I would say right now, as a bold take, it's a top 4 league in the world. Yeah, when it comes to the NBA, the EuroLeague, and it's a fight between China and Japan.
You mentioned the vision at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
What do you think their vision is?
The next league after NBA.
Number 2.
Yeah. And competition-wise, it's a little bit far when it comes to the EuroLeague. That's a different beast as well.
Yeah.
But they can really fill in the void with so many other things when it comes to the competition that's lacking. Diba? Parang siguro the players, obviously it's still Asia. We're not as big, we're not as tall, we're not as athletic, but the IQ is there, the pace is there, the fans is there, the money is there. So it's just a matter of time, where we see Japan is in the long run.
You know what else is there now? Yung mga illegal streamers on Facebook.
Yeah,
Send
there,
Gcash.
there is a lot.
There's a
And
lot.
yeah, I've been part of it too. I've sent some money over there just to watch some games.
Shout out to Kiefer for doing that.
Yeah.
You know, when people think about leaving the Philippines
Mhm.
and playing abroad, whether that's Japan, Korea, Taiwan, you know, down the line, who knows, maybe
Yeah.
China, Europe, right? Australia. They think the glitz and glamour.
Yeah.
They think, I'm going to go abroad, going to be a star, going to meet all these new people, going to live by myself. And if you're a guy, you know, I might meet some international girls or
Yes,
something
yes,
like
yes,
that.
for sure.
Get to experience a lifestyle.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of players underestimate the sacrifice,
Oh yes.
the loneliness of being alone.
Yeah, yeah.
Doing laundry, washing
Yeah,
dishes,
yeah.
doing your own things to take care of yourself, right?
Mhm.
And just, yes, you have the independence of being a basketball recruit. But at the same time, that comes with the hard work and effort to not only sustain your career, but sustain
Mhm.
your life. I mean, if you play here in the Philippines, chances are you're going to go to practice, you're going to come home,
There's food.
there's
It's
food,
ready.
ate,
Family's there.
ate,
Yeah.
kuya, pa-prepare naman ng pasta
Yeah.
or something like that. You'll take a nap,
You get a
family's
driver.
there.
You have a driver.
Yeah,
Things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But you go back home to your apartment in Japan, it's probably, oh, shit, there are a bunch of dishes in the sink right now. I have laundry I have to do, including my workout stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm also starving. I'm
Yeah,
hungry. You
yeah,
know, look,
yeah.
so what are some of the realistic aspects of playing abroad that a lot of players who dream of playing internationally might not think of right away, but they should?
Siguro I can speak in behalf of all the OFWs or imports that plays overseas, no? Parang, and also being somebody who gives a lot of talks to the younger generation as part of what I plan to do as a legacy. Parang lagi ko sinasabi sa kanila, wag kayong masisilaw sa pera. Wag silang masisilaw sa pera. Even if they play locally or internationally, I always tell them, like, if you wanna ask something, if you wanna ask for your salary, if you wanna ask for money, always ask for something that will actually make you play happily. Because some players, although they deserve it, but they will ask for the moon and the stars. But when it comes to performance, diba, 1, 2, 3 bad games, now they're as tight. They can't even play. They can't even shoot free throws properly. Because everybody's eyes are on them now. Like, we're giving you this. Why are you only producing this numbers? Things like that. Because at the end of the day, owners, business owners, sponsors, they still look at how you perform.
Right.
Diba? So,
It's all about performance.
in international situations naman, parang like what you said, yes, you do get paid a lot, like a lot, but can you actually play when you miss a birthday, you miss a graduation, your girlfriend actually breaks up with you, or you miss your mom is in the hospital or something, or things like that you just consider at the moment, oh, this is big money, I gotta sign this is for my future. But can you actually do it when
Right.
I tell them yes, but can you play with the plus plus?
Yes.
Like what you say, like what you see on some bills and everything.
It's not
There's
all rainbows
always
and butterflies.
there's always there's always a catch to it.
Correct.
Diba?
Correct.
Parang it can't be too good to be true, but it is a beautiful lifestyle. It is we're blessed to be in a wonderful country in Japan. Good food, good people, great country overall. But 80% of the battle for us is up here.
Mental.
It's up here. After practice, especially somebody who's lived there for 3 years, I've seen what's to be seen. I've gone through all the sites to be put on Instagram, all the areas that's a must see in Japan, mostly. So on my second, third year, mostly on my third year, after practice 10 to 12, practice 10 to 12, I have the whole day just staying in my apartment,
Right.
thinking of what to do, maybe washing the dishes, maybe doing the laundry. And it gets to a point, especially when it's winter, there's no more sun by 4:30. It's
Right.
all gloomy and fucking cold as shit. And you just stare at your apartment, probably talk to the walls, waiting for a reply, and
Yeah.
be on FaceTime, and yeah, I mean, it takes a toll on you.
It does.
I've been in the maybe not as much, but I would say, I've been depressed a couple of times over there, just fighting through it day in and day out. Especially this last part, kasi parang everything's just happening so fast, thinking about your future too. When your contract's expiring, there's a lot of uh, everything's in limbo basically. So, yun naman yung parang kinastresan ko, and things happening at home also. But, it shows your mental toughness too. I mean, I've been through it. I've been through the fire in more ways than one, whether off court, on court. And I was fortunate enough to have a very, very strong support system again to always, pull me through.
You mentioned there were times where you felt depressed.
Yeah.
During these times, was there ever a moment where you considered maybe it's time to go home?
a lot. A lot of times. And then sometimes it didn't even have to reach the point of that part na
Right.
medyo depressed ka. There will come a time na parang, why am I still here? Things
Right.
like that. And despite all what you said, the lifestyle, the glitz and the glam, uh, my heart is still in the Philippines. I have my family over here. At the end of the day, I still want to retire and stay close to my family. My parents are not getting any younger, and being the eldest, I also want to have a family of my own. Yung mga ganong situations na ganon. Pero, when you understand why you're doing this, wakes you up to reality. Is like, yeah, I got to do this for myself. I got to do this for my future and future family. Diba? Yung mga ganong bagay.
Now, there have been a lot of Filipino basketball players who have gone on to play in Japan. Your brother, 30, really the trailblazer of all of it, going to Sun. And any idea where he's playing next yet?
If as much as I want to spill the tea, I have no idea where that guy is playing. I really do not. We've been talking. He's in the States right now, working out, having an experience of, his dream of trying to still make it to the NBA. So hopefully he does it.
So
But
he's trying to make a summer league
maybe
team?
summer league.
Okay.
He's out there. Why not? Have his connections already
Right.
with our agent. And yeah, I mean, it's good to see him keep on his grind on, and yung focus niya nandun pa rin.
Right.
So after winning the award for the best international Asian quota player, I think it opened a lot of doors and opportunities for him as well. So very proud as a kuya. But a little bit salty since he beat me on that award too. So, but yeah, I mean, more than anything else, being his kuya,
Yeah.
the proud brother in me is still there. Yun pala yung at the top.
Have you had Filipino player reunions in Japan in some cities?
Maybe
where
the
you might
All-Star.
coincide?
Maybe the All-Star. I think that's the most, because it's really hard to get a hold of everybody in one place. So I think it's really just the All-Star that allows us. That's why we're very thankful for the All-Star, that they always bring us together at least once in a year.
Now, I'm sure you kept in touch with the PBA over the last few years, including the games, the performances, the competition. Your guy, Chris Newsom.
Oh yeah.
That recent PBA finals.
Yeah, it was
God damn.
it was a long time coming for Chris.
Yes, sir. And he made that game-winning shot.
Oh yeah, he did. That's just everybody's dream, make a game winner for the finals, for the chip.
And he was so smart too, because he was being top blocked, and this was explained to me by Coach Luigi, and he decided to just
Vika.
kind of push off a bit and then get the ball. And
I mean, it gets to show, Meralco is I would say one of the smartest teams out there, with Coach Luigi, Sandro, Coach Leonard, Paulo, and for the bigs you have
Raymond,
and you have Raynel coaching everybody, who's been an institution in the PBA. So, and I feel like I was watching, like, even like past 3 years, I was in touch with the PBA. I'm always talking to Kevin, Alas, my boss in NLEX, si Boss Ronald. Shout out to Boss Ronald. And I've always kept in touch with them and watch the games as much as I can. Tapos, syempre, my dad also, ganyan. And Meralco was actually really prepared to win. Yeah, they were gonna win it
Do you feel like them winning their first championship in franchise history, and by the way, beating a San Miguel team which has dominated the
Mm-hmm.
all Filipino conference, do
Mm-hmm.
you think that Meralco winning that conference changes things for the PBA?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. It's a new look that
Mm.
you crown somebody differently. And I don't really see it, like drastically changing. I mean, I
Would
haven't
it make
seen.
other teams believe that?
Well, it's not really that. I mean, you haven't seen any moves yet that
Mm.
that actually changes something. But in terms of change, now you get to actually see how to beat a team like San Miguel.
Yes.
I think that's the only change that I would see. Like, people should watch how Miralco developed a game plan consistently, and the most important thing is wholeheartedly trusting the game plan.
System and the game plan.
The game plan. Anybody could have strayed away for one game, and things could have been messy. But they were there religiously, and Bates was a revelation.
Well, you had to impress the
Uh,
coach, right?
I mean,
For
yeah,
more reasons than
he
one.
did, he did. He just didn't impress the coach. He impressed a lot of people.
For sure.
And the game plan was there, and it was so fun to watch, to actually see a team follow a game plan for 4 quarters.
Correct.
So yun.
Do you see your career eventually taking you back to the PBA and playing there?
To be honest, I hope so.
And will it still be with NLEX?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And honestly, I do hope so, that I still get the chance to play for the PBA when time comes, that I'd be back. I love basketball so much, and this is giving me an opportunity. If not for the PBA, people still wouldn't recognize me for who I was back then. Probably, besides the national team, I was able to perform very well with NLEX. In my first year, we made it to the semis for the first time in franchise history. And yeah, I mean, I hope I get the chance to do that.
You and Berto together.
Oh
NLEX. I
yeah, yeah.
mean,
It's a team to be reckoned with, but
team to be reckoned with.
I hope it before he gets moved out.
I like
before he
that. I
before he
like
gets
that.
moved out.
Now, you mentioned about establishing your legacy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there are different areas that you can do that. You've already, to some degree, dabbled in some media stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, I know you've done podcasts,
yeah,
you've done appearances. Right now, you're doing this too, and you seem
yeah,
like a natural. And you also mentioned that you want to be a coach one day.
yeah.
Can you tell us more about that?
Well, I feel like all roads in my lead to that. Parang I really enjoy sharing my knowledge.
Mm,
It's gonna be a long journey, Obviously, after basketball, I want to play as much as I can
yes.
first before I stress myself out and white my hair with all the players that I'll be coaching, and all the ego that I have to maintain in one room.
It's like karma to some degree.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Like, this was me 20 years ago.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I like to share my knowledge. I like to study the game, even now that I'm a player. And gusto kong maka-influence on how to play the game the right way, and hopefully help a lot of careers, in terms of their confidence, in terms of how they grow as a player, things like that. I might start at a lower scale, coaching, high
Youth
school
basketball.
basketball,
Yeah.
college basketball, and eventually seeing myself
As a pro coach.
as an assistant, and then just learning from the people who've done it, multiple decades already, and then see myself where it takes me 20 years from now. So, yun naman.
Do you feel like you'd be more of the players, coaches type of guy, more of an X's and O's breakdown type of
Probably I'll
coach?
be more of a X's and O's,
Mm,
tactical stuff, because I believe in, if you're a smart player, I don't care how good you are, you'll be able to play basketball.
right.
So, you might not be as
Talented,
talented as
athletic.
somebody there, but when you play the game the right way, you always have room, playing time on the court. And as an X's and O guy, I like to develop strategies, game plans, and see who can follow and who cannot. and basically, if you can follow, the longer you play. But there come occasionally, of course, you need talent, diba? You can't have just a superior system without the talent. And yeah,
Mike Tyson did once say, I believe it was Tyson, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
Who
That's
can-
when
yeah.
you get, shaken up. That's when you
Yeah.
get shook, and then what was my game plan again?
Can we stay
Oh,
to the game
yeah,
now? Which
yeah,
is what Meralco
yeah,
did, right?
yeah. That game two haymaker. They were up by what 4 points in 27 seconds, and
Killer.
then losing the game. And after that, I was like, hey, if they lose this series, that's the
That's
game
the
that
game.
they'll be looking at for a very, very long time. And I'm glad it didn't happen.
Do you think 30 would be part of your coaching staff, or he'll be too busy
Fuck
at the
no.
Met Gala?
No. I ain't trying to, there's enough space for one Ravenna, not two. Not two. Hey, you ever wonder why I never wanted to play with my dad? So,
Good point.
yeah, so, yeah.
Dang, you guys are competitive.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
You've had competitive battles over
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah.
I want to take it to the media side of things. Now, it's always the media interviewing the players and asking the players their thoughts, writing about the players.
Mhm.
Sometimes not such nice things to say,
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
You've been on the
Yeah,
receiving
yeah,
end
yeah.
of that. Now, if I asked you from a player's perspective, you've been playing in the Philippines for the longest time. You've been to Japan. You've
Mhm.
had your stints in the United States and
Mhm.
probably elsewhere in the world. And you've seen the different media all over the world, basketball media, how they do it in different
Mhm.
country. What do you think the media in terms of Philippine sports can do better when it comes to covering the games and the athletes?
I mean, hindi naman lahat like not everybody, is yung parang naman, not a lot, well, mas marami pa rin yung gumagawa ng tama kaysa dun sa mali.
Mali.
I've loved you guys, all the media people since my high school, my college days, from all writing mediums, online, paper, magazines, everything. I've always had a great relationship with those people. Siguro lang parang it's for me as a basketball player, and I'm getting old too. Like I would only want to listen about basketball.
The game itself,
Yeah,
and not the
yeah.
drama.
Whatever happens on the side, parang there will be a different area of media people who would ask that.
Right.
But when it comes to pre-game, post-game conferences, individually as a team, if you would stick to the game, because that's what we just did. We just play, or we're about to play a game, things like that. That would be really beneficial, I think, when it comes to media. Of course, people love the drama, people love
The narrative.
the narratives, the stories, behind the scenes, things like that. I get it. It's part of it. I respect it. That's why I've never really reacted badly when it comes to things like that, kasi I know where it's all coming from. But siguro yun, parang sticking to the script of being,
Focusing on the game.
yeah, that would really be cool also for players not to get caught off guard with
Right.
questions, or like, oh, now
Choker yan eh.
yeah, I mean, now that you ask something outside of basketball, not a lot of players are used to, diba,
Right.
being asked like that. Now they say something bad. Now they're under the microscope, or under fire right away for saying an on the spot question that they didn't really prepare for, just finishing, just having 23 and 12 and playing 35 minutes. And then you ask something like that. So, yun lang naman sa akin, just to be fair for all. But I do respect it though.
Have you had players, either as teammates or just contemporaries you've known over the years, who, because of the narrative writing in the media, their careers were affected by it too, mentally, how they perceive the game?
Oh, yeah, a lot. Calvin, is being dubbed as an antagonist like his whole life. Got to a point where, fuck it, let me just play this shit.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Might as
no
well,
matter
right?
what I do, I'm gonna be the bad guy.
Yeah.
So Calvin, and who else? Madami pa dyan, and not everybody was able to shine like Calvin the way he did.
Correct.
on bouncing back on that, portrayal of his in his career. But everybody had their own fair share of narratives. Some were able to rise above it, some didn't, unfortunately. So yeah.
You're gonna play with strong group soon.
Yeah.
In the upcoming William
Yeah, very
Jones
excited.
Cup. You're
Yeah.
gonna reunite with Coach Charles.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
playing this tournament once
Yeah,
again.
reunite with a lot of guys too.
Exactly. Just your quick thoughts on what the team is right now and how excited you are to be.
Oh, I'm very excited. I'll be with who?
Dave,
Jordan,
Renz.
Dave, Renz, RJ, Chris McCullough, DJ Fenner, those guys. I'm excited to be part of them, and then the upcoming college boys, Enot, Liwag, Manalili. Is it
Dulatron.
Yeah. And I've seen them play. I think I'll be taking Enot and Titing under my wing for the next month and see how I can practice my coaching skills.
Right. Are you gonna give them rookie duties also?
Well, I don't know with my other teammates, but I'll be sticking to basketball with them.
Right.
Spending time with them too. So, yun naman yun. Parang yun ang gusto kong nilolook forward din, yung matuturo ko dun sa mga yun.
The growth of the college game now has been immense.
Yeah.
Right? And for a few reasons. One, I think, more than anything, despite what people might say, the competition is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, UP becoming a contender just adds another team to the mix, right? Another powerhouse you have to deal with. And then you have UST on the rise again. Yeah. And you can never forget about a team like FEU now with Coach Sean.
NU.
Of course, LaSalle, Ateneo, NU. I mean, even teams like UE and Adamson, who might not be in the Final Four picture, they're no easy opponents, right?
Yeah.
There have been areas that have helped the college game get to what it has, got into now. Number one is because of you guys. What you all paved early on, a decade ago, the competition, with the winning, with the media. But at the same time, too, I think it's fair to say that the college players now, more than ever before, have become hot commodity, right? They're the ones being recruited by Japan and Korea. They're the ones considering going pro after 1 or 2 years, becoming one and done or two and through. So unlike back in your day, it was like you play 4 years, you play 5 years.
5 and dive.
5 and dive. You go to the PBA, you're a 26-year-old rookie, right?
Yeah.
What have you thought about the growth of the college game over the last 5, 6, 7 years? And are there areas you like and don't like? Tell us more.
Well, siguro what I like about it, siguro the competition, the growth of competition. Kasi before it was just, Ateneo, LaSalle, we would go to different countries to just perform, play, practice, have our camps over there. Now, all the other schools would go to, different countries also, diba? Just to practice and, see where they are right now, boot camps and everything. Tapos, and also, just the growth of talent, I think, bro, that's the biggest thing. We might have had the dog in us during my time.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was a
fighter.
Dog. Everybody was just willing to die on the court, things like that. And now, kids are just so effing talented.
Yeah.
It's just, the talent is surreal. The talent is unbelievable. And I see it being somebody who watched a lot of games. And it's amazing. I'm very proud on how, the cliche goes, the future is bright.
Yeah.
And so, wala naman siguro na, na dislike. Kasi parang ngayon, ang pinaka naririnig and nakikita ko lang na bad thing about it is when it comes to recruitment.
Yes.
All the money involved, all the pirating involved, loyalty involved. But then again, as a player, you have to look for the best opportunity in your career. That
especially because your body is
a short span. Diba? Parang I would see it that way when all the moves were done or are being done or will be. The other players, that what they will do in the near future. Pag galing ka sa loob, maintindihan mo kasi hindi naman panghabang buhay ito. And
Tama.
this offer might not be a lot for you, but it could be life-changing for
For
a
your
different family.
family.
Diba?
Yeah.
Diba? So, yung mga ganung bagay na hindi na nakikita ng mga ibang tao, especially diehard alumni, diba, na ganun na, why is he leaving? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Hindi na nila napapansin yun. So, as a player, I respect it. You know, this is something that you have to grab. It's not so often that you get to have this opportunity.
Now, why do you think the players in the college level now are just so, like you said, effing talented? Is it because the skills training available, the skills coaching, they're working on their bodies?
I mean, just the exposure, just being overseas, just being around with players. Syempre, if a team goes overseas, everybody gets that overseas experience. Now, when you come back, everybody practices with the overseas experience.
Yeah.
What you see, what you do, what regiment did you do that feels like it's going to work for you during the season. Yung mga ganung bagay. And again, that's why the other players stand out, because they're the ones the most consistent ones, diba? So yun naman ang battle palagi, like who can have an edge on being the most consistent. I could work out for 2 weeks, but can you sustain it for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, a year? Things like that. Yeah, like even at a professional standpoint, even if we can have the right resources or anytime, anywhere we want, it's still a battle of discipline within you. Would you want to do it? Would you hold it a day, or rest a couple more days? You feel like tired, didn't get good sleep, diba? It's a constant battle, and whoever gets to win that battle day in and day out, those are the players you see standing out right now.
Quick prediction: who wins the UAP championship this year?
As much as I want to say Ateneo, I'll stick with Ateneo. I'll stick with Ateneo. It's gonna be a rough battle for them, for my boys, but ride or die.
That's a blue-blooded eagle, right?
Ride
there.
or die.
Now, last question here, Kief. Let's say you could talk to your 20-year-old self, which was about 10 years ago. Now, you've been through a lot since then, right? You've been through a suspension, which I know wasn't entirely your fault. It was incidental, but the consequence was the consequence.
Yeah.
You've been through some off-the-court happenings that have tested your, shall we say, character to some degree, but also help you grow as a person and make you the person you are now. And you've just been through different adventures and journeys. I mean, you've had the adventure of a lifetime, and to some degree, I'm sure it feels like your life is really just beginning, right?
Yeah.
So if you could have a 5-minute conversation with your 20-year-old self, just 5 minutes, and prepare that person for what's about to come in his life, what would you say?
Damn. Probably I would say, listen to your parents. If I would have a sit-down talk to myself, I would just say, listen to your folks. I mean, they're there for a reason, whether you like it or not. And there will be things in this world where no one will tell you, that even your friends, and sila lang makakapagsabi sa'yo kung ano yun. And if you take it good or bad, at the end of the day, they said it for your best interest. And I think yun lang. And because all those mistakes, all those lessons in the past, all those situations that have happened to me, parang if I could still go back 10 years, I still wouldn't change it. And I don't know, it might sound bad for a lot of people, but I'm me because of those experiences, and I know I'm not a bad person, and I think that's the most important thing.
I agree. You're not a bad person.
Yeah.
In my book, Kiefer Ravena is still a phenom in more ways than one. I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate
Thank
you,
so
man.
much, man.
It was good.